Hello, everybody. Lady Virgo here. We're going to discuss the current Ascension symptoms. We're going to take a look at the Schumann resonance. So if you're new today and you don't know what Ascension is, it's basically us integrating more and more light that is coming from our sun, our central sun. We are being blasted as a humanity. It's basically our consciousness interacting with the consciousness of the heavens, the sun, the planets. All of us are connected, and we're kind of starting to remove the veil and getting back to the knowing that we're all connected and that everything we think, do has an impact on everyone and everything. So here we are, intense times as usual. Many different Ascension symptoms that I'm going to share today, along with some tips to help our bodies integrate the light. Really, because that is the same thing, ascension and integration. I was just thinking about it today. What truly is ascension? And it's just what we're all going through as the collective, as human beings on the planet Earth right now, as above, so below. So let's just share a screen. This website I'm going to take you guys to is super helpful to have an understanding. If you need scientific proof that the sun has a direct influence, the sun is our life force. Without the sun, there would be no life sustained here on the planet Earth. So this is just talking about the magnetics and the Earth. And this is Mr. MBB333.com. He has many beautiful, helpful tabs here, bringing that science to those who need to logically figure it out. So I'm just going to briefly touch and scan through some of this. You can also use this website for your own. So this is what's happening as we're integrating the different photon energy, the different plasma from the sun that's coming into our atmosphere. So it's just saying, have you ever felt strange without really knowing why? Shortly after a solar storm or a flare, CME, enters the Earth's atmosphere, you probably didn't even know it happened, but your body does. Well, I did think about this today too. All my life, before I started healing my own little inner child wounds, whatever that journey was that I may even have brought in from past lives, and we all do, I was disassociating, escaping, having Neptune on my ascendant. I was escaping from my sensitivities. So what a treat it is to awaken, right? Because it usually takes something traumatic. It doesn't have to, but a lot of times, because humans don't learn, we learn from trauma, and it changes our world. So getting back present in our bodies is what the ultimate goal is, to embody ourselves as spiritual beings. And then when this happens, next thing you know, we're in a big collective awakening, right? Look what started taking place over 2019, 2020 with the pandemic and such. A lot of people having to go into being forced to go into their inner sanctuary and do their inner work in and amongst this huge solar activity. So now I'm present in my body and I feel every damn thing, right? Gave up my drinking alcohol to be present in my body, and now, holy shit, I feel all of the earth changes with the sun and whatnot. So not an easy ride, not fairy tales, not butterflies and rainbows for being in an awakening like many people want to claim that it is. It's usually really actually very difficult. And so I just wanted to say to you, if you're feeling these energies, if you're an awakened person on your path, kudos to you. You're a spiritual freaking warrior badass. So according to scientists, solar flares, CMEs, do cause changes within the human. A solar flare is an explosion on the sun that happens when energy stored is twisted. Magnetic fields are suddenly released. Such intense activity has an influence on our mind and our bodies. I want to add to this that our nervous system is key. The nervous system is our circuitry. And so we will pick up on this instantly in our nervous systems. A lot of us have been going through major nervous system upgrades, major help is being, you're needing to do a lot of things to nurture your nervous system at this time. Such an intense activity has an influence on our mind and body. More and more scientists are now convinced that the sun affects mental and physical health. Well, I'm glad scientists got on board with that. The sun's activity as it interacts with the Earth's magnetic field affects extensive changes in human beings' perspectives, moods, emotions, and behavioral patterns. Many of us are picking up on this with the collective too, right? Fear over the past couple of years has been rampant. We also, as energy beings, if you're sensitive and in tune with yourself, your inner self, you will pick up on energies in crowds. You may not know this, but now I'm asking you to be aware of this, because if you have a sudden shift in your energy or mood, it could very well be the sun putting off these coronal mass ejections, or it could be the energy in the room that you're in. So it's always important, I always say it, biblical term, full armor of God, which is surrounding yourself in divine white light, and that helps to buffer some of these energies. Again, I've been going through it, especially over the past few days, really feeling these integration ascension symptoms. So, so this was proven scientifically that correlations between hospital admissions and health registers have been directly linked with solar geomagnetic activity. Again, I'm not going to read all this. I share in the link here with you guys. The Schumann resonance is something that I always look to, because if I can feel like I'm getting having ascension symptoms, whether it be hot flushes, cold flushes, whatever, a little bit of anxiety, if I look to the Schumann, it's usually pretty like spot on. So it's basically saying the magnetics of the planet usually buffers those CMEs, right? But because we're going through so many shifts and changes, and when the magnetics are down, those CMEs come into our atmosphere, we and the animals, everybody, nature, the planet speaks to us. Your body speaks to you. So you'll feel these shifts and changes. So the scientists believe that the solar storms desynchronize our circadian rhythms. I think it's circadian. In other words, our biological clock. So that's why a lot of times, let me finish this paragraph, I digress. The pineal gland in our brain is affected by the electromagnetic activity. So this is why sometimes we are just wound for sound in the mind and can't sleep at night. This could be what it is for you. This causes the gland to produce excessive melatonin, and melatonin is the brain's built-in downer that helps us sleep. What I'm noticing recently too is I'll go through huge exhaustion crashes in the daytime, or waking up feeling like I haven't even slept at night. It could be very well that your brain waves are awake, and I'm noticing a lot of dreams, but I'll go into that. So the psychological effects of coronal mass ejections can result with headaches, which a lot of head pressure lately, especially over the last few days, and I wrote those down. Heart palpitations, again, not replacing any medical advice that you may need, because I do not support that. I don't give that here, but what I am doing is pointing you in the direction of that you are connected to everything more than what many people are aware of, and that it can cause these different things as these electromagnetic surges are shifting and changing within our atmosphere, within our bodies. So heart palpitations, mood swings, just a general feeling of not feeling well. Chaos or confused thinking and erratic behaviors also increase. So through awareness, that's why I'm sharing this today, you'll be able to do things like I have some tips here that I'm going to share on how to balance that out, to get grounded and kind of balance out the positive and negative ions, the positive negative charge within us. So think of us as energy beings. So I'm not going to read any more of that necessarily. And so I just wanted to quickly show here on the K index, this is kind of a measure. And over the last few hours, what time was this? noon. Today we've had 3 different spikes. Green is pretty average and calm. And I always say that yellow is kind of getting into that cautionary. I felt all 3 of these today myself. I woke up feeling them this morning. And then when we see a spike in the red, that is like major, you know, hold on to your hat, Sally, kind of type of energy. And the strange thing that it's been changing, a lot of us that have been following this and been feeling this as we're on our journey of in the doorway of the age of Aquarius, is that the Schumann resonance itself, which this is measured here, has been really quiet. And when we're having those K indexes going into the yellow or red, it's not necessarily just showing a big, huge whiteout like it used to. I do not logically understand it. But what I'm seeing in this chart over the last couple of days, which is from December 29th, the 30th, and then this one's going into here tomorrow here shortly, is that's really quiet. There's a lot of blue. There's not a lot of big white, red, different colored spikes that we're used to when that K index is in red and yellow. And so I really don't know what that is logically to explain that here. But what I am saying is, you know, we keep going through it and it keeps shifting and changing as we rise and rise. Now, Ascension to me, in my perspective, the way I feel into it is that we are integrating all of this into our bodies. We're not getting raptured up out of here. There's nobody coming to save us. We have to integrate this into our nervous system, into our bodies the best that we can, because we got to embody more of this light. And so number one thing for these symptoms that you may be feeling is a really difficult time regulating your body temperature. And why I believe this was happening is a lot of these things are what our body usually does through our autonomic nervous system, like the things that we do, our nervous system automatically does, like breathe, regulate our body temperature, all of those things. It's really difficult right now because the nervous system is totally shifting and changing with all of these spikes and the photon energy, is that you'll get really super cold or super hot, and it'll just like come on fast and come out of nowhere. So do what you can to be comfortable. I want to kind of mark these off as I share them. So one of the biggest things that I've noticed over the last couple days is an increase, and this has been ongoing, in the ear ringing. And we're hearing different frequencies, different high-pitched ringing, can be in one ear or both ears, whichever. And I'm noticing, I was laying in bed getting ready to go to sleep the other night, and I had a really super intense one in the right ear. And so what I do when I'm experiencing the ear ringing is kind of just breathe into it, take a nice deep breath, and kind of allowing that to soothe myself. Sometimes if it's so intense, I will adjust my jaw and whatnot. So another thing that I've been experiencing, and many of my friends have been feeling, is that band or that pressure, a tightness around your cranial area, your head. This is also showing up in head pressure at the base of the skull. Again, I didn't go into that article more, but you can go to that website. It was talking about how the pineal gland, you know, is feeling this. It picks up on these different shifts and frequencies. So I feel like what's happening is, if we're integrating more of that, is we'll feel the pressure in our cranium. And it's weird. I just said this to my girlfriend, who also experiences this often, that today it just felt like I had a band on my head. And at first I thought it was because I had my glasses up on my head and I'm feeling my head, and I'm like, nope, my glasses are not on my head. So head pressure definitely happening, and it can cause headaches as well. I've noticed over the last couple of days, I had a killer headache again the other day, and I could feel the pressure in my brow. So you're feeling it where your third eye is. Your third eye is here. You're feeling pressure there, the base of the skull, and then also this band around your head. Another thing that I've been feeling is, and it happens throughout different parts of my body over this journey that I've been feeling all these shifts and changes, is you'll just start feeling like a vibration or an energy surge through your body. Mine just so happened to be up my left foot and leg over the last couple days, but that's changed over time. Sometimes you'll feel like your hands are tingly, shake them out, do whatever you can. Sometimes you'll feel it in your feet, your legs, your calves, different vibrations. I really do feel like it's breaking up density, stagnant energy within us. We have to do our shadow work. We have to do our inner child work before we can even get rid of all the purging and density. And so it's difficult because I don't feel at this point I've been burying anything, but I tell you what, and I have conversations with God often about this, of why do I feel all of these so intensely? Took me 40 years to get present in my body. I'm not escaping or numbing out with escapism, but now all of a sudden I'm feeling all of these huge changes and shifts in our energy. So intense. It's like, whoa. Another thing that's been coming up too is feeling a chest pressure. And again, it's shared there on the website too about palpitations, whatnot. A lot of us are having this heart expansion. I believe this is their soul, our heart, our soul, our higher heart. And so they're doing different things like the thymus tap. Again, not replacing any medical help that you may need, but chest pressure, heart palpitations, even perhaps sometimes feeling like your heart is racing, like a shot of adrenaline when you're in relax mode. Very uncomfortable. I'm not used to it. I've been kind of experiencing these off and on myself since about 2018, even been checked out medically because it was getting so intense to where it was just too much. It's still too much. I'm not really comfortable with them, but it's happening. Another thing that you may be feeling or experiencing right now is itchy skin, whether it be your skin itself. I tend to be having that around my abdomen area, solar plexus area, itching in the ears right now, a lot of drainage. Again, we're taking in more light. So what needs to happen is stagnant energy has to purge, whether it be out your orifices, mucus. A lot of people are having a lot of congestion. Again, head pressure, releasing and purging out the density, the toxins, and stagnant energy. So when it's coming in, it can't just come in without you expelling something. You could be having an increased urinating, blowing your nose, ear secretions. You could be drooling. I noticed I'm back to clenching my teeth again, which it's Capricorn season now. And so whatever it is, itchy skin, purging, getting rid of that. Dreams are really ramped up right now too as well. Again, that could be a little bit to do with Mars retrograde in the sign of Gemini, which is ruled with the brain. And it also then Mercury just went retrograde in the sign of Capricorn as well. But for some reason over the past few nights, the dreams have been super ramped up. So one thing that I'm noticing that is new is feeling a little winded, and it comes and goes. It's not steady, it's not constant, but breath. Feeling like you're short of breath, feeling like you're a fish out of water, like I can't get enough breath. So make sure you're doing whatever you do, because that can put you into anxiety. Did me. Make sure you're just taking nice deep breaths in through your nose, taking a nice full deep breath, exhaling. Not sure why that's happening, if it's due to the pressure that many of us are feeling in our chest or what. Very new and very uncomfortable one. I already kind of mentioned it about the teeth and the bones. So a lot of us are experiencing like jaw pain, teeth pain, bones feeling achy. Again, it's Capricorn season, plus we're integrating all of this, so we're getting double whammied. And then also muscle tension. I'm specifically feeling it in my neck and shoulders again. I do tend to, as a sensitive being, carry the weight of the world on my shoulders, which it's not my damn job to do. I'm sensitive, I know it. So yeah, different parts of your body feeling muscle tension. This is a perfect time to go for a massage, do self massage, do whatever you can. I'll go more into the things that we can do to help relieve that. It's for real right now. Something that I'm not having over the last couple days, but I have prior to that is the dizziness or feeling like vertigo. Again, I feel like we're adjusting and assimilating to all of this new energy. So as we do that, in, I don't know, I guess we can describe it as integrating more light and dropping the veil to where all the dimensions are basically right here, right now. So that could be causing the vertigo, the dizziness, you know, seeing little floaters out of your peripheral vision, seeing shadows, I noticed actually some today when I was outside. You know, you're not going crazy, you're just waking up. That's what my spiritual teacher taught me when I took many courses with him, and just a reminder to you all here too. So lastly on this is nausea and purging. And I kind of already brought up the purging where I'm talking about, I just had really itchy ear when I was in bed the other night and itched it. And I'm like, oh, that's attractive. I had wax on my ear. So we're just purging out of our orifices, which is a good thing. You know, release it, make sure you hydrate, detox, do whatever you got to do. And the nausea, it's really weird. It's been off and on for me. I think last week I was drinking peppermint tea because I knew I needed some help with my digestive. Try to stick to natural things, guys. Petroleum-based big pharma is never there to heal you. It just band-aids the things. So we got to make sure as we're going through all these changes that we integrate as much natural as we can. I'm not shaming all medications. If you need medications, by all means. But what I'm saying is God gave us everything on earth to be able to handle this, and I can't fucking believe it, because to be honest with you, me and my girlfriends talk quite a bit, and it actually gets to be too freaking much sometimes, but apparently we can handle it. So some of the things you can do to just help your body out, like listen to your body. First of all, I've been saying that on my channel probably for as long as I started it. Make sure you listen to your body. If you need a nap and you can take a nap, please do. We seem to be very tired right now. The exhaustion is for real during Capricorn season. Our bodies are going through so much changing, and we're used to, as a society, going do, be productive, but maybe sometimes being the best you is to listen to your own damn body. And if you need to take a nap to rejuvenate yourself, then do so. Grounding. I cannot stress this enough. I find myself outside several times a day, because once I get outside out of my home, now I didn't talk about the false frequencies that we're all having to deal with, whether it be cell phones, electronics, you name it. But I believe that has a huge impact and influence over our mental, emotional, physical health. And so turn your Wi-Fi router off at night. Go outside and ground more than once. I have to get in the fresh air, breathing in the fresh air, getting on the earth. If you can't do that for some reason, put your hand in a plant, take an Epsom salt bath or a Himalayan salt bath. That will also help you to purge, detoxify. Plus, it's a win-win situation because you'll absorb the magnesium if you're taking a nice, healthy Epsom salt bath. And magnesium is one of the things that I have started on. I take one in the morning, one in the evening to help out the nervous system, because many of us are depleted in it. So another thing we can do to get that high voltage energy to kind of be balanced within us is to move our bodies. And I need to do this too. I get out and haul wood. I get out and be with my horses, my chickens, get on the earth the best that I can. Sometimes, since it's winter now, which that's a whole nother conversation with the weather, what the weather's been doing. Wow. Move your body, but dancing. And I need to do this. I need to just turn the music on and freaking dance. But what I'm noticing too is I get up out of bed every morning now, and I don't really do yoga per se, but I do definitely do stretches that I've been doing every morning when I get out of bed to help move that energy. Waking up feeling tired is for real right now. Like, I don't know what we're doing when we're sleeping, or if it's our brain waves, like that said. I think it's circadian rhythms is how you pronounce it. You know, something with Mars retrograde and also Mars retrograde in the sign of Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, I think that a lot of us have a lot of mind busyness happening right now. So it's difficult to get into that nice REM sleep. So move your body. And then I put on here, disconnect from artificial frequencies, which is the laptop I'm on right now. Again, I've been turning off my husband and I's Wi-Fi router at night for months, for probably years now. A year, 2 years, something like that. Time is elusive to me, just to kind of help. And you still can't even get out of it, because even if I didn't have Wi-Fi at my home, it's still pinging. If you noticed, they put up a whole lot more of cell phone towers during the beginning of this pandemic, which is another story too. So you can't even get out of all the artificial frequencies, the electromagnetic frequencies. So do what you can do. One of the things that I do is wear a organite and copper necklace, and even my naturopath said I need more than that. So, you know, keep your nervous system in check. Listen to some healing music, 528 hertz. If you look on YouTube and just put in healing frequencies, it'll tell you 528 or whatever it is. Just listen to things that soothe you, to kind of help balance you out. The importance of hydration, like I'm getting too hot in this room right now. See, I've been on this video for however long, and I'm all of a sudden having a surge right now as we speak. So, yep, I'm most of the time in sleeveless shirts, and then I have these little shawls that I'm back on. So make sure the importance of hydration. And it's almost getting to the point now where you need more than just water. My naturopath got me on this, where I'll take some real mineral salt and I'll put a pinch of it in each glass of water. And I also squeeze lemon in there too every day. Keep hydrating. Like, the weird ass skin is drier than ever. Yes, those of us in the northern hemisphere are in winter, but it's beyond what winter dry skin is this year. It's just light. Like my feet, I'm getting warm up my feet right now. So some of the essential oils that I use for helping myself feel grounded, and a lot of times if you're not grounded, you'll feel the dizziness or lightheadedness. You'll just feel off in your body. I've been mixing cedar wood oil, which is a very earthy. Patchouli is very earthy, rooty. I've been mixing it with a nice organic carrier oil, and I'll rub it into my feet. And another thing that I've been rubbing on my chest right here at our lung meridians is a carrier oil with, not bergamot. What is it I'm using? Is it cypress? Oh my God, I just drew a blank totally. That's all right. Anyway, it's a opening. I think it's cypress. Opening. So if you're one of those that have been experiencing the nasally or congestion or a little bit of the breath issues, you can use the natural oils to help open up your sinuses, and it does help with the pressure that we've been feeling in our cranial too. So herbal teas are also another thing. If you have nausea, you can use peppermint tea. If you have experiencing anxiousness or whatever, lemon balm tea is wonderful. It's one of my favorites, and chamomile soothing as well. Chamomile and lavender, ginger. Now, I was talking on this, I don't know if it was my last video or not, because of all the faults, like electromagnetic frequencies from our technology. More people than ever are experiencing inflammation. And so ginger tea, turmeric tea, any of the anti-inflammatory herbs, roots, spices to bring that inflammation down. Pineapple is another one that my naturopath shared with me as well. So those are just some of the symptoms, ascension symptoms, integration symptoms that many of us are most likely feeling that we may not know. Irritability coming up, feeling a little bit now in Capricorn season, as we have Mercury retrograde in Capricorn and also Mars retrograde in the sign of Gemini. You know, we could have a lot of inner reflection on what's bringing us physical stability, Capricorn, and emotional stability, Cancer, because that is the axis And we're getting ready to have a full moon in Cancer on January 6th. And I will be doing a video on that as well. So we're really thinking and reflecting right now on physical and emotional security. But I was thinking about that even, and there is nothing in this third density as we're living in the physical body that will create that stability. We have to make that feeling within us on the physical and emotional stability, because this world is ever changing and shifting. And I just want to also say, a lot of people, I know this is just a beautiful subject, but a lot of people are also, as I shared with the digestion thing, really having a lot of gases build up in them. So you know what I say, let them out, because we're purging. And I wanted to pull, of course, a Cryon message, energetic, beautiful. So thank you for tuning in today. If you're new, I am Lady Virgo. I am here to help love through the shifts in this ever-changing time. So if you're new today, please do like, comment, let me know you're here, share this out. I don't know what to say about the fucking algorithms at this time, but yeah, I'm grateful you're here. I'm gonna clear our energy real quick and we'll pull a card. So yeah, what day am I? Oh, it's December 30th. So gay. We have New Year's Eve tomorrow, December 31st. The moon will be making its way into the sign of Taurus, where we have the north node of the moon. The north node is our destiny as the collective. We are now in that. So value, beauty, our resources. Find that emotional stability within yourself, because this world won't give it to you. We have to find that and create that one by one. And the moon will move into that Taurus fixed earth energy at 12:08 p.m. We also have Uranus in Taurus. That means we're going through a lot of shifts and changes. Uranus is the higher mind, the cosmic mind. Uranus is also symbolic of wild card energy, the rebel, studying a new path forward. So we have it in that fixed earth energy with the north node. I didn't pull the chart up. I don't know how many degrees apart they are. What are these latest current energies that we're integrating? One with everything. I believe back to the beginning of the video, I was sharing how more and more of us, as we go through these shifts and changes, are starting to have an awareness that we are one with everything. That's why the sun has a direct influence. Our consciousness has an influence over what the sun's doing as well. Like, your energy may feel the energy of people in the room. I remember feeling that way even as a child. And because people were not, okay, so people were saying one thing, but they were doing another. I disassociated very young from my sensitivities. I said that I escaped, whether it be alcohol, cigarettes, tobacco, that I'm still addicted to today. I'm in my body now, but I'm still feeling the energies. And I was saying that to you guys about we are one with everything. Dear ones, you cannot hide a person who is one with everything. They glow, their light is bright, and they smile in joy and oneness. It is a wonderful indication of one of the basic principles of Cryon. There is no separation with God. Cryon is always lovingly telling us that everything is related, both physically and spiritually, and that to separate our consciousness in any way is to limit the beautiful relationship we have with everything that exists. In older energy, humanity decided to compete for survival. There was competition for resources, ways of thinking, politically, and even spiritual systems. This has always ended up in war, showing how dysfunctional the concept of separation is. The idea of one with everything starts with you personally and your relationship to others, the earth, and to the creative source itself. The closer we get to understanding this relationship, the healthier and more peaceful we become. Eventually, this reverses the old idea of competition and creates a soothing appreciation of being part of a benevolent system that can lead the peace to earth. Breathe. Breathe and relax in the idea that everything that exists is part of who you are. Breath work is key to integrating everything right now. It's intense for us sensitives. We have to really nurture ourselves. I think humanity, I don't know. We can't really call it. Humanity's a long ways from stopping with the warring, the feeling of the separate mind, the lack, the competition. Obviously, if we look around, it's 2022 and what we have going on. But also remember that you are one with everything. It's a great time to disconnect from all of the social media, all the TV, if you still have it in your household. Because if you don't start holding your energy accountable, somebody else will tell you how to feel, how to be. And in the old system that's dying, they don't want you to know that you're one with everything. They want to tell you to fear. They want to tell you to stay 6 feet apart. They want to tell you to cover up your mouth and shut your lips. So make sure you disconnect. We'll do an I am affirmation and I'll close this up. I hope this was helpful for you. Again, if you're new today, I hope that you found this information helpful. And that one popped out. I am considerate of others. So where your energy goes, your energy flows. Be considerate of others, but I always say on my channel, because I used to be emotionally codependent and a people pleaser, and thank God I'm not that anymore. I know who I am. I know I'm connected to everybody. I'm not better than anybody. I respect other people, but you will respect me. I am not a doormat. I suggest the same for you. Know that your presence, your light matters. Your light in a room matters, whether it's in your family dynamics and gatherings, whether it's in a grocery store. It's to start time to live it, breathe it, and be it. That is our message for this latest hurrah, hurrah, with this huge energy shift. Just a random spontaneous one came, recorded this on the 30th. So we're at the end of this calendar, though I don't believe it's the new year. So I hope you have a good one. I hope something here sparked an interest of your perspective on yourself and how powerful you are and how much you matter. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful sowing of the seeds of what you want to become, what you want to grow, what you want to manifest in the world. Much love to you. Shalom, shalom.